Before entering into actual video, let me just give you an introduction about us. We are Endurance Engineering Academy. We offer online video course for GATE exam preparation. Okay, and also we offer full video course for GATE XC. Okay, so if you are planning for writing XC, you can visit our website for our full video course. This is our website link, and you can see this link in the description also. And you can call us at this number, or you can WhatsApp us. We will be getting back to you with the required if you have any queries, or else you can message your queries to our mail ID support at endurancengacademy.in. Okay, let us proceed for the video. And this video is an extract from our full video course. So I am going to start the last two topics which is left out. Okay, so one is mixture of gases, and the second one was thermodynamic relations. Okay, see, mixture of gases is like a base for your psychrometry. Okay, so mixture of gases and also pure substance, you have to study both for understanding psychrometry. Okay, psychrometry, that is air conditioning. Okay, and the thermodynamic relations will be basics. It will be very easy, and it is important. Okay, because they are asking some direct questions from thermodynamic relations. If you are preparing for ME, there are possibilities. They can ask or they cannot ask. But if you are preparing for XE, okay, GATE XE, and if you are going to write thermodynamics, then there is one question which they are asking from thermodynamic relations every time. Okay, so most of the times, I cannot say every time, but most of the times they are asking that Clausius, Clapeyron relations, Maxwell's equations, all those things. Okay, so those are the two topics. Those two are very simple. Mixture of gases and thermodynamic relations, very simple, very small. Okay, so once after completing this, we will be entering into applied thermodynamics. Okay, so yeah, so mixture of gases. Okay, when I can call a mixture of few gases to be homogeneous? That is the first question. Mixture of gases means it is very simple. We can say what is mixture of gases. If I able to mix all the gases and if I able to keep it in a separate container, for example oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, everything, if I am able to mix it and if I am able to keep it, it's just a mixture of gas. Okay, but when I can call the mixture of gases to be a pure substance, I already given this when I was discussing in the first chapter, but still let me recollect it. Pure substances are nothing but the substance which is homogeneous in chemical composition. That is, the composition of the chemical should be same, it should not vary, and it should be homogeneous in chemical aggregation. The bonding should be same. Let me take one example, a very simple example: dry air. If you take a dry air, the point to note here was dry air. Dry air can be treated as a pure substance. Dry air is nothing but a mixture of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, etc. There are many gases, right? Some inert gases, some minor gases will be there, but majority is nitrogen and oxygen. Okay, now this dry air can be treated as pure substance. Why? Because they are homogeneous in composition. As you could see, nitrogen is not going to change its composition, oxygen is not changing, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, nothing is changing. Each and individual gas is homogeneous, both in composition and also in bonding. They are not going to bond. Or else, in a simple manner, I can say that they are non-reactive within themselves. Okay, they are non-reactive. This will be somewhat more easier to understand. Okay, when can I treat? You might ask me, you might confuse sometimes, but this is a very easier type of way you could understand. If I'm having a mixture of gas and if they are not reacting within themselves, then I can call it as a pure substance. Okay, we know what is meant by homogeneous composition, homogeneous in aggregation. In addition to that, keep this also in mind. Okay, it is non-reactive within itself. There should not be any reaction within them. Okay, so this dry air, mixture of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, is a pure substance. Okay, now if you take mixture of gases, okay, if you take mixture of gases, we can classify this study into two. Okay, so mixture of gases can be studied in two types. One is mixture of perfect gases. Okay, mixture of perfect gases, example air. Okay, so dry air can be treated as a perfect gas. That is, perfect gas is nothing but a classification of ideal gas, right? Which means dry air can be treated as an ideal gas. Okay, but if dry air has a mixture, when it is going to mix with water vapor, dry air, when it mixes with water vapor, I cannot treat it all the time. Okay, sometimes I will be treating. Okay, as we discussed in the pure substance, when water vapor was in superheated region, we will be treating water vapor also as an ideal gas, but not all the times. Sometimes we will treat, sometimes we won't. Okay, so that we will be studying in psychrometry. Okay, that is study of air conditioning. Okay, that we will be studying it in applied thermodynamics. So now in thermodynamics we will be concentrating on this, that is mixture of perfect gases. Okay, so the first and foremost assumption itself I am giving you, they are perfect gases, they are a mixture of perfect gases. Okay, and finally when I am ending this chapter, I will give all the assumptions together. Okay, now I am just introducing the assumption. The one assumption here is it's a mixture of perfect gas, that is we can use ideal gas equation, PV is equal to mRT, PV is equal to n R bar T, both the equations can be used. Okay, now let us define two different fractions. Okay, so before defining that fraction, we will understand, or we will just I will just give you what is moles, or number of moles. Okay, so there will be some number of molecules which is present in some container or something like this. Okay, let us take mass of total mass. Okay, total mass of this gas. Okay, it contain a gas. Okay, some gas. Total mass of the gas be m. Okay, total mass of the gas be m, and molecular mass or molecular weight be capital M. And we know mass, generally mass will be represented with kg, molecular mass will be represented with kg per kilomole, or sometimes it will be a gram per mole or something like that. Okay, so most preferably kg per kilomole, sometimes kg per mole also. Okay, it depends on the problem. Now, what is number of moles? How to define this quantity? Number of moles, which is n. Okay, number of moles is nothing but ratio of total mass to that of molecular mass. Okay, so if I want to find out number of moles for this gas, just divide the total mass with molecular mass, will give me number of moles. What is the unit? kg per kilomole, right? So mass unit is kg, molecular mass unit is kg per kilomole. So this two will get cancelled. So finally its unit will be sometimes kilomole, or sometimes we will use it as mole. Okay, in few books they will use MOLE also. Okay, I am just using it MOL. Let us take an example like this. Okay, so this is a simple example. Consider that it is a mixture of gas. Imagine there is a big container, it contains different gases. Okay, so it contains 4 different gases. I am just giving you a case as a simple example. Okay, let us assume that it contains 4 different gases. Okay, gas 1, gas 2, gas 3 and gas 4. Okay, representing in different colors. Okay, and now this total mixture, okay, this total mixture was at a pressure P. Okay, total pressure of this mixture was P, total volume of this mixture is V, and total temperature was T. Okay, temperature. So I will use thermometer for measuring temperature, I will measure the volume, pressure can be measured by some gauges. Okay, some pressure gauges. Now let us assume the molecule 1, okay, total number of moles of molecule 1 was N1, and it is present at a partial pressure P1. See, what is mean by this partial pressure? You might ask me a question now. Wait for some times. Okay, so next topic is Dalton's law of partial pressure. That time I will be giving you the definition of partial pressure in a much clear manner. So for now, don't worry much about the term partial pressure, you will understand it. Okay, so this P1 is partial pressure of first gas. Small m1 is mass of first gas, capital M1 is molecular mass or molecular weight of first gas, capital R1 is the characteristic gas constant, okay, of first gas. Cp1 and Cv1 are specific heats at constant pressure and constant volume of first gas. Similarly, all the other gases, okay, all the other gases are having like the subscripts will be 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so they are having the subscript 2, 3 and 4. okay, where that P1, P2, P3, P4 are nothing but partial pressures of each individual gas. And already we know that few of the assumptions we already taken, they are non-reactive, they can be treated as a pure perfect gases, right, like nothing but ideal gas. Okay, just keep that all that in mind. They are individually ideal gas. Mixture is also an ideal gas. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now I'm going to define two different fractions. Okay, the first fraction is mass fraction. So let me represent it with yi. See, different books uses different notations. I'm going to use y. Okay, so you can follow different notations also. But in my course, I will be using yi as mass fraction. Okay, that is nothing but mass of individual gas to that of total mass of all gases. Okay, summation of all masses of gas. For example, in this case, okay, in this case, if you want to find out mass fraction of first gas, okay, mass fraction of first gas, mass fraction of this gas, that will be equal to m1 by m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus m4. Okay, similarly if you want to find out y2, that will be m2. Okay, so now mass of individual gas, I am finding it for y2, so it's going to be m2. Okay, the whole divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus m4. Okay, similarly I can write for y3, y4, etc. Okay, now mole fraction, the second term is, so this is the first fraction which I defined. The second is mole fraction, which I will be representing with x. Okay, xi. So mole fraction is nothing but number of moles of that individual gas to that of summation of all. Okay, summation of all. Now that, for example, if I want to find out x1, okay, so that will be n1 by summation of all the number of moles, okay, of all the gases. So n1 plus n2 plus n3 plus n4. Similarly x3, sorry, x2 or even x3 also I can write. What will be x2? It will be n2 by n1 plus n2 plus n3 plus n4, etc. Okay, right. Now think about this. What will happen? Just answer my question. What will be x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4? If I add all the gases, okay, if I add mole fraction for all the gases, so it will contain, denominator will be same, right? Denominator will be summation of n only. Okay, denominator will be summation of n. Numerator will contain, for x1 it will contain n1, for x2 it will contain x2, for n2, for x3 it will contain n3, for x4 it will contain n4. And what is that summation? n1 plus n2 plus n3 plus n4? That is summation of n. So summation of n by summation of n, that will be 1. A simple logic. Okay, so summation of all mole fraction term will be 1. Similarly I can prove summation of all, what is this, mass fraction also to be 1. You can do the same thing. Okay, so in general what I can do, in general, summation of yi from I is equal to 1 to I is equal to n, okay, for the first gas to the nth gas. In our example I taken only 4 gas, but there are possibility for n gas, right? In some case it will have some 2 gas, in some case it will have 3 gas, something like that. So summation of I is equal to 1 to n will be equal to 1. Okay, similarly summation of I is equal to 1 to n, okay, so xi will be equal to 1. Okay, right. Or in another way I could write it, so in another way I can write like this. Okay, y1 plus y2 plus y3 until yn will be equal to 1. Similarly x1 plus x2 plus x3 until xn is equal to 1. So now let me discuss about partial pressure. Okay, just be patient and listen to me. Okay, so this is a mixture of a gas which contains 4 different gases. Okay, and the total pressure of this gas was P. Okay, now imagine, just observe this situation. Imagine I'm removing this 4 gas completely out. Okay, it's some kind of hypothetical thing. Just imagine that I'm making a hole here and I'm removing only the 4th gas. Okay, removing only fourth gas, which means the remaining three gases, okay, this third one, second one and first one will occupy the total volume, okay, will occupy the total volume, and all of them will be at the same temperature. But due to the removal of this fourth gas, there will be some reduction in pressure, okay, some reduction in pressure. The volume, it is occupying the same volume, the three gases are maintained at the same temperature, so volume and temperature are kept constant, okay. Now, so there will be some reduction of pressure. Why there was some reduction of pressure? Due to the removal of this much gas out of it, okay. Now do the process again, remove the third gas also, again the remaining two gas will occupy the entire volume, and both of them are maintained at constant temperature. They are maintained at constant temperature. What will happen? There will be further reduction in pressure. Why? Because of this constituent, because of this third gas, as we are losing some gases, there will be some reduction in total pressure, okay, some reduction will happen in total pressure. Similarly, I removed the second gas also. Now what happens? I removed the second gas also, that is all this gases are removed, only first gas occupying entire volume, only first gas is occupying entire volume, and it is maintained at same temperature, so volume and temperature remains constant. It contains only one mixture. How many number of moles it contains? It contains number of moles. Now take, now again there will be some reduction, okay, there will be some reduction in pressure. Now take a pressure gauge, measure the pressure. Now take a pressure gauge, measure the pressure. That total pressure, listen, that total pressure which is exerted by only this molecule, okay, that is exerted by only this molecule, which occupying the volume and temperature, which is occupying the same volume, and it is maintained at the same temperature as that of mixture. Okay, this mixture is also maintained at this volume capital V at a temperature capital T. Now only this single molecule is occupying same volume, it is maintained at the same temperature. So this volume and temperature remains constant for a mixture and also for a individual constituent. Now, so molecule of number of moles, the number of moles N1, it is occupying the total volume and it is at the same temperature. Now if you measure, okay, now if you measure the pressure, that pressure which this molecule exerting on the total volume, okay, that pressure this molecules, okay, only single molecule exerting on the total volume at the same temperature is partial pressure, okay, is partial pressure of that single molecule. If I remove all the other molecules 1, 3 and 4, I am removing 1, 3 and 4 and I am leaving only molecule 2 to occupy the same volume which is maintained at same temperature as that of mixture, okay, which is occupying the total volume and it is maintained at same temperature as that of mixture, okay. Now the pressure exerted by this molecule on the total volume and it is maintained at the same temperature as that of mixture is partial pressure of molecule 2, okay. So now read the definition. The partial pressure of each constituent, is that pressure, okay, is that pressure which the gas would exert, okay, so that pressure the gas would exert. Now an important point comes, if it occupied alone, that volume occupied by the mixture, okay, that volume, okay, the mixture is occupying volume capital V. Now only molecule N1, okay, only molecule N1 is occupying the same volume and mixture is maintained at temperature T. Now this molecule is also maintained at the same temperature. Now this molecule will exert some pressure, right? That pressure is partial pressure of molecule 1, okay. So that's what I am, the next also same temperature. So very important definition, very important definition. I will be doing one problem from the problem on this also, okay. By using this concept I will be doing one problem, so understand it properly, okay. So now, okay, So same volume, same temperature, okay, same volume, same temperature as that of mixture. If only one molecule occupies, then the pressure which is exerted by that molecule alone, okay, that molecule alone in the same volume and same temperature of the mixture, okay, that pressure is partial pressure. So this pressure which is exerted by this molecule on this container or this system is partial pressure. Okay, now comes an important thing, a small derivation. Okay, now from the mixture, okay, I'm taking the mixture, or let me come for this. Okay, from this I can say, by using ideal gas equation, I can say that P1, and now this molecule is occupying the total volume, right? So P1 into V is equal to N1 into RT. Okay, so similarly R bar T, I'm very sorry, R bar is what is that? R bar is universal gas constant. Similarly P2 V into R bar T, etc. We can do this for all, right? Because only pressure is going to vary. If same volume is occupied by different gas, only pressure is going to get varied, and also yes, number of moles will get varied, but the temperature and volume will remain constant. Universal gas constant will also remain constant. Okay, keep that in mind. Now similarly from that, okay, I can say that summation of N is equal to N1 plus N2 plus N3, etc. Now all this, okay, so this summation of moles is occupying same volume, okay, same volume and same temperature. So how can I write ideal gas equation here? And what is the pressure? The total pressure of this mixture is P. Okay, so P into V is equal to summation of N R bar into T. So keep this equation as 1. Okay, keep this equation as 1. Okay, this equation I am writing it from the mixture. Now these two equations I am writing it from the individual constituents. Now add it, add all this. What will happen? P1V plus P2V plus P3V, etc., which is equal to N1 R bar T plus N2 R bar T plus N3 R bar T, etc. Okay, now take pressures commonly, take all the pressure commonly, sorry, take all the volumes commonly. So P1 plus P2 plus P3 volume, which is equal to N1 plus N2 plus N3, etc., into R bar into T. Now what is this? N1 plus N2 plus N3 plus all those things? That is, let me write that equation here. So N1 plus N2 plus N3, etc., is nothing but summation of N, right? So I am writing this equation here. So summation of N into R bar T, that is my right hand side. Okay, this is summation of N. And what is left hand side? P1 plus P2 P3, etc., into capital V. Now this is our equation 2. Okay, equation 2, compare equation 1 and 2. Compare equation 1 and 2. This is equation 1, this is equation 2, compare equation 1 and 2. So if, or else you can directly divide it, or you can compare it whatever you want. Okay, in place of V, we are having V. In place of N R bar T, we are having N R bar T, that is summation of N R bar T. And in place of P, we have summation of all the partial pressures. So total pressure of the mixture, okay, total pressure of the mixture is equal to summation of all the partial pressures. Okay, so total pressure equals to summation of all the partial pressures. Total pressure is equal to summation of all the partial pressures of individual constituent. Okay, so partial pressure of this plus partial pressure of this plus partial pressure of this plus partial pressure of this will give me total pressure of the mixture, and this is called as Dalton's law of partial pressure. Okay, this is Dalton's law of partial. Now we know this equation, P1V is equal to N1 R bar T. Okay, and we know this equation. I will take this equation, PV is equal to N R bar T, that is equation 1. Okay, so PV is equal to summation of N R bar T. Divide them both. Okay, divide them both, divide it. So what will happen? V will get cancelled, so it will be P1 by P, which is equal to R bar, T will get cancelled, which is N1 by summation of N. What is N1 by summation of N? What is N1 by summation of N? It is mole fraction. Okay, so this is mole fraction, which is X1. So P1 can be written as X1 into summation of N. Okay, that is if I'm very sorry. This P has to be multiplied, right? So P1 will be equal to x1 into P. So if I want to find out, partial pressure of molecule 1, just multiply mole fraction with total pressure. Okay. Similarly, P2 is nothing but x2 into P. P3 is nothing but x3 into P. P4 is nothing but x4 into P, etc. Okay, so the product of mole fraction into total pressure will give me partial pressure of that particular gas. Okay, so these two results you need to remember, Dalton's law of partial pressure and this result. So we discussed what is meant by Dalton's law of partial pressure. So similarly, if you think about what is that? Gibbs-Dalton's law. The Gibbs-Dalton's law is nothing but extension of Dalton's law. So Dalton's law, that is the first statement, is defined only for partial pressure. So if I am going to define for other properties also, for example, the total internal energy of the mixture, okay, total internal energy of the mixture can be written as total mass into specific internal energy of the mixture, right? Total mass into specific internal energy of the mixture. That can be written as summation of internal energy of each and individual constituent. What does it mean? U is equal to M into U. Okay, so that will be equal to M1 into U1 plus M2 into U2 plus M3 into U3, etc. until Mn into Un. So total internal energy of a mixture is equal to summation of internal energies. Okay. Next, total enthalpy of the mixture. Okay, that is M into H. Okay, all this are indicating total internal energy, total enthalpy. M into U is specific internal energy. This is specific enthalpy. That will be equal to M1 into H1 plus M2 into H2 plus M3 into H3 until Mn into Hn. Okay. Now finally, what is entropy? M into specific entropy is equal to M1 into S1 plus M2 into S2 until Mn into Sn. So already we know the Dalton's law. What is the Dalton's law? The total pressure is equal to summation of partial pressure of individual constituents. So this three statement gives us Gibbs Dalton's law. Okay, this is Dalton's law. Now the point to note here is, okay, this confusion was there among aspirants. Okay, see here I drawn the molecules, black color molecule, red color, blue color molecule, all the molecules separately. Okay, but think about gases. Okay, if I take a gas, that is the first gas, black color molecule, and if I make it to occupy, okay, if I fill that gas in a container, okay, which is having volume V. Okay, if I am filling the gas in a container which is having volume V, then obviously it is going to occupy the container fully. Now I am including some other gas. What is this other gas which I am including? The gas was the red color one. Again, that red color will also occupy, and similarly blue color will also occupy. That last one, the mixture, will also get occupied. So this mixture will be like the molecules will be spread out everywhere. Molecules of this black color will also be spread out everywhere. Molecules of this red color will also spread out everywhere. This blue color will also spread out everywhere. I am just for explaining, I am showing you like this, but it will be spread out everywhere. Now my question, if I ask volume, Okay, if I show you this figure and if I ask what is the volume of gas 1, what will be your answer? What is the volume of gas 1? That is occupying same volume only. See, this is a basic property from gases. If I fill a gas in a container, it will occupy the volume of the container. Okay, so this gas is also occupying the total volume only. It is spread out. It is spread out. Similarly, this is also occupying whole volume. This is also occupying whole volume. This is also occupying whole volume. So volume of mixture, okay, mixture of all these gases will be equal to volume of individual gas. This will be useful when we are solving problems. Okay, so let me write it as Vi. Okay, let this be V. Now volume is same. Okay, volume, total volume of the mixture is equal to volume of the individual gases. That is fine, because as I said already, this gas will also occupy the total, this will also occupy the total, this will also occupy, that will also occupy, that is, they will be occupying the total space which is available. But what is specific volume? How to determine specific volume? That I will be doing it. Okay, so how to determine specific volume of a mixture? How to determine specific volume of mixture? I will be doing it. Don't worry about it. Now I will be doing it. Okay. So these things you need to understand it from this lecture. So first one is what is Dalton's law, which we already defined it. What is Gibbs Dalton's law, extension of Dalton's law, and finally this is a problem, or this is something which you will confuse when you are doing a problem. Okay, so you need to understand it properly. So volume of individual gas, that individual gas is also occupying the same volume only. This gas is also occupying the same volume only. This is also occupying the same volume only. So volume of individual gas is equal to total volume of the mixture also. They are same. Okay, so keep this in mind. I will explain. I will be, when I am doing the problems, you will understand it more.